Namaste, I'm Mike from the Virtual Y, and this is a series of yoga for upper body strength. In this first video, we're going to focus on strengthening in the wrists and the hands. We'll start standing like so to do a little bit of warm-up, so find your feet directly under your hips, under the hinge of the hips, and press down. Press up a little bit away from the floor, starting with that nice mountain pose always, and have some light activation through the whole body. And we're going to start by warming up the wrists, inhaling to clasp the hands, and then as you go all the way up, you flip them up to the sky. Right? As you exhale, go ahead, release, and return back down. We'll do this a few times, and if you like, inhale, go ahead and lift on up through the heels as well. Exhale and release down. A little bit of practice for those small muscles in the ankles. Inhale, clasp, and reach up, really reach up beyond you. Let's do one more of those. Just real nice and smooth, and it may take time for you to get, the sense of the balance in lifting the heels. Now let's go ahead and put the heels down and continue. This is called Tadaka Mudra with the hands up above us. Reach on up, and I want you to do some shoulder shrugs. So inhale, press away, and then exhale, draw the shoulders in, squeeze. Inhale, press away, and exhale, squeeze. So these first three classes are designed to work together, and we'll have a variety of upper body strengthening. Mostly wrists in this video, so exhale and squeeze. From here, let's release those, and we're gonna do big arm circles. So you'll go down and up, point the hands up as you go up, exhale and point the fingers down. So make a big circle, inhale, go big around, exhale, pointing down, warming the shoulders as well. Good, now on the next one, inhale, let's go ahead and leave our arms open. Lift your heart and give me a little bit of a back bend. And then I want you to take and hold behind you, find your wrist or your forearms behind you, and we're gonna have a little bit of a flow. So take inhale, lift your heart, and exhale, I want you to melt onto the legs. Just melt onto the body here. Take another inhale and extend. Now look through a little bit. You're gonna reach your crown out and you're gonna press your hips way back, lengthening that back in line with the floor. All right, taking those shoulders back, and then when you exhale, go ahead and straighten the legs a little bit. Halfway lift. Take another inhale here for strength, and then exhale, come into forward fold. All right, let's let those hands go. They're gonna swing up and through with gravity, back up to standing, and find your Tadasana. We're gonna do that a couple more times. Inhale here, exhale and clasp behind you. Now you're probably going to clasp the same way. I wanna encourage you to change sides. Inhale and lift through your heart. Exhale and bend, put your weight onto your legs. We'll hold here, inhale and extend your spine nice and long. And as you exhale, draw the navel up, start to straighten your back, and give me a big halfway lift. It's like your body's a shelf. Then take an inhale, and exhale, forward fold again. Now we're gonna get into the wrists, let those arms go. Flip on up one more time, and this time as we clasp back, as you progress and have more open shoulders, you can practice wrist strength with a full bind. So I'm gonna take my hands clasped together, shoulders way back, and as the palms come together, I straighten the arms. Now, it's better to do this instead of leaving some bend here because this can be stressful on the wrists. Okay, so straightening everything, and you may work your way up to this instead. Same thing, inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, let's go ahead and melt onto those legs. We'll stay here and inhale and lengthen, draw the shoulders back, draw the knuckles back and crown out. And as you exhale, then draw the navel in and up. Ooh, use your core strength there. Take another inhale, and then exhale. Can you take this into a forward fold? Oh my gosh, yes. Carefully let the hands go. You're gonna swing back down and up. Good. We're gonna move onto the floor. So, inhale, come on up. And exhale, come on forward. Now, when you come forward, your hips probably go back. I want you to get into the habit of inhaling back forward, restacking the hips over the heels every time. Navel is on and up, and the back is really long. Then you keep those hips there when you exhale into forward fold. I feel like we need to practice that again. Inhale, come on up so that you get this sense of what happens in the hips. Exhale, come on down, let the hips swing back. It's a natural response. Inhale, come forward, restack. Exhale, forward fold. Good, and then just let your head hang. And we're gonna move on to a down dog. So today, I actually want you to start your down dog from your knees because I want to talk about the hand position. Talking about hand strength here, it comes into play a lot in down dog. Now, we tend to crash a lot right onto the wrists, and I'm going to encourage you to bring the fingers a little bit together, still some space. Yes, you'll have weight in the wrist, but try to put some weight in the index finger, the thumb, and even on the top row of those knuckles. Distribute the weight before you go up. Have that mindfulness in the hands. Now we'll tuck our toes, and you're going to use your core strength. Lift your navel up to lift your hips, even if it means keeping my knees bent. And then as I exhale, I'm going to start softening heels one at a time or both towards the floor. So that's a really nice down dog. Now we're going to flow this. As you inhale, put your knees down and look through. We're doing some neck strengthening too. And exhale once more, press back into your down dog. Now you can do this in 2 levels. This is the basic intro level here, putting the knees down, look through. But exhale, as we gain strength in the upper body, you can hover the knees. Inhale, let them stay off the mat as you look through the same thing, right? Exhale, press back. Good. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, and know that this is designed to be the kind of work that you can progress up to. If you could only do 3 today, that is fine. Exhale, last one there, and then we're gonna go ahead, put those knees down, drop them a little bit wider, toes together, and come on back to find your child's pose. You'll surrender your arms and your forehead on down. From here, just take a nice cleansing breath, and when I'm in child's pose, I like to just surrender, let anything go that doesn't serve me. And we're gonna continue to practice our strength in the hands with a little bit of a flow down here. You'll inhale and rise up just a bit. And then as you exhale, I want you to undulate the spine, strike through like the cobra to touch the chin and chest. Then you'll come all the way through into a cobra, low cobra, and take the shoulders back. Again, strengthen the neck, don't let it hang. And always, when you exhale, we're gonna take that navel back to child's pose. Good. Let's inhale, come up just a bit, and then exhale again, strike through. You're feeling the elbows in tight to the body. Inhale again, through for cobra. Navel is up, exhale. Let's do again, one more. Inhale, come on up. Feel how much weight the hands are bearing. Inhale, feel the shoulders and triceps doing some work. Come on through. Good. Come on forward. And then on this one, we're going to hold. And let's go ahead and carry ourselves back up to all fours. I want to alternate what we're doing here so that we have time on the wrist, but then we're giving it a break. If it feels okay, from here, take and flip your hands. Now you may also find that you got to back them up a little bit, which is fine. And this is just a nice big stretch for the front of those wrists. We're going to inhale, lift your heart and lift your tailbone, look through, and exhale, press the floor away. Bring your chin in, draw your navel in and up. Inhale, come through, and exhale. So again, if this is something that your wrists will only tolerate for a certain amount of time, do what you can and progress time after time into, perhaps more each time. And don't forget to breathe with all of this. Good. Okay, and this will be the last one. Exhale and inhale, return back to tabletop. We're going to practice plank. Now I'm going to show you a few options for plank. There are several options. And the first of which being a low kind of level 1 intro plank here. You're gonna walk way forward. Now, unless I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I might not be sure if I'm actually in a plank. Sometimes I'll see people not as far out or these hips up. You wanna come forward far enough that you really can't walk anymore forward. Hands are under your shoulders. And here's another tip. You can lower your hips and then use the strength of your abdomen to draw up just a little bit. Okay, now that's a great plank. Take those shoulders back, or if you progress with strength, that you can tuck those toes and bring it on up into more of our standard plank. Now, another thing, as you begin to develop strength in the wrists, you may choose to give them a break, and this is a good place to demonstrate having that break, that option of having the fists down instead. Okay? So we're working the strength when we have the palms down, and we're giving it a break by having the fists on the mat instead. So you can choose. Oh my goodness, and plank is something that you can hold for as many breaths as you like. Take one more. And let's go ahead and release those knees down. From here, I want to give the wrists a break again, and I'll show you what a gorilla is like. And watch how I get up. So how would you normally stand up? Perhaps it involves the legs a lot. So using the legs, etc. I have found that as my strength in the upper body has increased, I use my arms to stand up from any position really by pressing into the floor using my shoulders, my core, kind of coming up like so. That was with my upper body strength, all right? Hang low here. I want to show you gorilla. And on gorilla, you'll take your hands, put them under your feet, right there, so that the toes come on up to about the wrist, and you let yourself hang here. This is a nice counter stretch, kind of like when we flipped the hands on the floor a minute ago. And if it's too extreme, you could put less of the hand under there. It also can be used just as a really nice forward fold, because with that extra traction, you can begin to lengthen the legs and use the arms, bending the elbows, to draw yourself deeper into that forward fold. Or just hang out. You can have as much knee bend as you need. If you have rings with stones on, you might turn those to the side too. All right, let's gently let those go, and we're going to come back down to the mat. So come onto your knees and start here in Thunderbolt. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is pendant. And it's essentially just pressing yourself away from the floor. And I'll show it a few ways. In fact, I've got a couple blocks here that I'll show too, but let's start with the basic pendant. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're gonna be strong in the shoulders and hands and draw in and up through your core. Inhale here, exhale, and press your knees away from the floor. Let's try that a couple times. Inhale, great way to build strength is to just do this. Exhale, this flow. Now, sometimes you feel more success by getting a little bit higher by actually having two blocks, and I let the fingers hang off of this, real close to the body. Inhale here, and the same thing, you want to get this feeling that all of your upper body is working here, okay? We're also putting together skills for what we call crow. More on that in a sec. Exhale. Okay, now, on their last one, strong shoulders, strong hands, draw in and up and hold. So, if you looked on the internet, you would find people with their legs totally off the floor. Yours don't have to be off the floor, okay? This is plenty of work, just as it is. Let's transition to using our blanket here for a moment, and I'm gonna put this blanket underneath my heels. It doesn't have to be high, so I'm gonna put it behind me. We're gonna come into that low squat. Now, that's because if we are not used to practicing a low squat, those heels hang out in the air, and it's better just to have that stabilization so you're not worried about it. Feet can be as wide as you need, and in the series that we're doing, I'm going to build us up to a crow pose. And so this is one skill getting us ready to do crow pose, and that is literally the hand strength, because it's a hand balance, leaving the floor. So what I want you to just do today is get the idea of a little bit more strength in the hands, supporting the entire weight of your body eventually in the hands. And you don't have to leave the floor. This is early stages. But you're also thinking about everything as a unit. You are not only putting weight in the hands, you're starting to squeeze the arms into the legs. You're starting to lift up through your navel, and maybe even counterintuitively, you're looking forward. So I'm coming onto those toes, right? So any amount of this is good, and we just practice some of the strength and pendant as well. Good. And that will suffice for a preparation of crow pose today. We'll add on to that in the other classes in the series. Okay, let's go to all fours and take the blanket away from your mat. We're gonna do some side planks as well. And I've got a level one here. Make sure your hands are right under your shoulders. And level one for a side plank would involve taking my left foot back, pressing into the right hand and flipping onto that side. Now from here, you can put as much weight as you like into that hand. Again, think about pressing into the whole hand, challenging yourself by going overhead and or lifting off. Now, level 2 plank on the side starts from a standard plank. Again, my hand is right under that shoulder and I'm gonna tip onto my sides and come on up. That's a lot more weight. So that's why you wanna progress into this with time, with knowing your abilities, and staying in this only for as long as feels safe for you, but having a good practice of it. Okay, let's go ahead and come on down, find your plank again, knees down, and how about taking just a moment's rest? Again, if you want to give yourself a little bit of a fist and tuck under, nothing too extreme, just a little bit of recovery for that wrist. And the only other thing we really need to do in this class is hit that plank for the other side. So go ahead and come on forward. Same thing, you can extend your right foot back, come on to the side, shine up, and add on any of those extra strengtheners if you like. Otherwise, starting once more from the full plank, make sure that hand is right under your shoulder. It's important. Flipping onto the sides of the feet and shining on up and away. Make sure that that head doesn't relax in space. Keep that ear working up towards your shoulder. And holding eventually, hopefully for at least 5 breaths before coming back carefully to plank, putting your knees down. And let's have the knees wide and finish with just a moment, a couple breaths of rest. If you can, wrap your arms around your legs, surrender your head. You could also put your head on a block and take a few cooling and cleansing breaths. Deep inhale, maybe giving those hands another squeeze and a fist again, and relax. Exhale. Good, one more. And release. Nice. That concludes our practice for wrist and hand strength. Do this practice any number of times just until you feel that you're gaining more strength and can progress through the exercises. And I'll see you in video number 2.